support for the police and the armed forces of the Philippines. My duties as administrator of church properties demand that I take legal and appropriate action. In line with this, I have ordered not only the preparation of affidavits of all members aggrieved and traumatized by the said unfortunate incident, but also an inventory of church properties destroyed as a consequence. It is incumbent not only upon the church but also upon officers of the law to take appropriate action, considering that the said trespass was beamed by social media all over the world and thus sent the wrong signal that this country has become a police state with no respect for the law and religious institutions. While the damage has been done, the opportunity is there to rectify the errors brought about by the trampling of basic rights in the conduct of the alleged raid by granting the reliefs and legal remedies provided by law. It is unfortunate that the obsession of this administration to demonize Pastor Quiboloy even before he could be convicted by a court of law is a clear maneuver to divert attention from the deepening crisis spawned by corruption, incompetence, and abuse of authority. Again, it is with heavy heart that I am constrained to take action against all those responsible for the coordinated but illegal raid. Notwithstanding my personal convictions, the law must be upheld. Let this be a warning and a lesson for all those who follow and implement illegal and unlawful orders, that there are grave consequences for blind obedience. Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Thank you, sir. At this time, sir, pwede
Thank you,
po,
ma'am. Yes.
I have the permission
Continue.
once again
Yeah.
to, of course, the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Honorable Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, maraming salamat po at pinagkaloob po itong pagkakataon. And also Senator Christopher Bongo, at sa lahat po na nandito ngayon in this room, sa lahat ng NBI, DOJ, NAPOLCOM, DSWD, and of course the PNP, sa CHR, and all those that are here. Indeed, we're so thankful that we were given the chance to air our sentiments. On behalf of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, let me just say this. As I have read the statement of former President Rodrigo Duterte, June 10 truly is a day of infamy for us, because it is a day that will go down in the history of this country. That day, not only one, not two, not even three, but 4 of our religious compounds, our sacred grounds, our worship places, simultaneously were brutally attacked, assaulted, not by terrorists, but sadly, by the state-ordered or sanctioned law enforcers coming from the Philippine National Police, the CIDG, and the Special Action Force of the PNP, who is supposed to be the elite forces that is against terrorism. They were all in full battle gear that day. And it was dawn. Maybe later on we will be showing the footages of what really transpired. At sino ba yung inatake nila? They attacked the religious compounds of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. And who were there? We were innocent civilians. Yes, there were children. There were mothers. There were grandparents, male and female, because it is our home. Tinitirhan namin yun. It is our compound. We have lived there for almost 40 years. Kaya doon kami nakatira. And as you all know, even some of you have been in our compounds. And if you know us, for 40 years that Pastor had been preaching, we were innocent civilians. disciplined, law-abiding, God-fearing. We are volunteers, missionaries. We have given our lives to serve God and the country. And we have never wronged anyone. We have been upholding the law because that is what our beloved pastor has taught us. And on that day, we'd never expected that a horrifying incident such as that would ever happen. Why? Because they already served warrant of arrest several times. If I may read, they have already served it on April 3 in the central headquarters and in Samal, and April 4 in Prayer Mountain and the Glory Mountain, and April 10 in the central headquarters and the Prayer Mountain, the Glory Mountain, and May 3 in Prayer Mountain and Glory Mountain, and we have always entertained and let them in peacefully. We didn't have any resistance, but kami magre-resist. Yun nga lang ang tanong dito sa committee hearing na ito, sa pagdidinig. Tinatanong natin yung excessive ba yung June 10. Kasi, ang pinuntahan naman nila, religious compounds, hindi naman lair ng mga kriminal. At ang sinong hinahanap nila, para lang din sa lahat, sino bang tinutugis? It was in the guise of issuing a warrant of arrest to our beloved pastor, which we have known. At naging buhay na namin for almost 40 years. Kaya yun ang masakit. Kasi alam namin yung katotohanan. Tapos, first of all, we know what the truth is. He is innocent. And Pastor Kibuloy has millions of followers, not only here in the Philippines, but the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, which is a homegrown ministry from Davao City, has reached not only the Philippines, but the whole world. And what is painful with that, is it because he was just falsely accused yet? Is it because he is also the spiritual advisor and the friend of so many, especially the former president, Rodrigo Roa Duterte? PACQ or Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy is not yet convicted in any court here in the Philippines. Allegations yun lahat. And he has always said it. He is not evading the law. Palagi niyang sinasabi yan. He's not escaping from the law. He was just asking the preservation of his life. Haharapin niya ang alleged na mga accusation sa kanya na human trafficking, rape, at ano pa man na lahat na inaakusan ninyo, which is alam namin na hindi totoo, pero sige na lang. Pero haharapin ni Pastor yan, basta nasa tamang korte. At guaranteed siya na safe ang buhay niya. Hindi siya nag-i-evade ng law, ulitin ko lang po. He's not evading the law because he has always taught us to abide by the law. And so, kailangan lang niya ng self-preservation, kailangan niya i-save yung buhay niya. Huwag lang makialam ang Amerika. Kasi, yung information nga nakakarating sa amin, hindi sila mag-extradition, but extraordinary rendition. Sinabi na yan ni Pastor, huwag lang makialam ang Amerika. I-secure nyo lang yung seguridad ni Pastor. Haharapin niya lahat ng accusations niya sa korte. So ganito ang nangyari. Ilang beses sila nagbigay ng warrant of arrest para sa innocenteng tao at hindi pa convicted. Hindi siya fugitive kasi hindi siya nag-escape sa law. Sorry. Huwag yung tatawagang fugitive yung hindi nag-escape sa law. At pastor siya. Pastor namin siya. Buong buhay namin binigay na namin kay pastor kasi alam namin yung sinusundod namin. And that June 10, I was there. We were there. And never have we felt so brutalized and terrorized on that day. Hindi kami sanay kasi we have lived peacefully. Lahat ng turo ni pastor, pagmamahal, pagsusunod sa batas. Tapos, to our horror, we were about to pray, I was looking at my watch, it's 3:50. The silence of that morning was broken by the siren because that is our only way to inform everyone that we were already under attack. You say we are armed and dangerous. You have your body cams with you. The camera will not lie. The CCTV will not lie. We were there because we were about to pray for our devotional dawning prayer. And that is when, all of a sudden, I just heard all this, the female workers running around. We have to protect our compound. We have to protect our property. It is our home. That is our inheritance given to us by the Almighty Father. And we worked on that by the blood, sweat, and tears of all the kingdom citizens. Yun lang ang pamamahay namin. Yun lang ang lugar namin, kaya pinoproteksyon namin. Binigay yan sa amin ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Pinangunahan ng aming mahal na pastor. Why we are protecting that? Because yun ang iniwan ni pastor sa amin. And we vowed to protect it, no matter what. So yun yung nangyari. So tanong natin, excessive ba yung lulusob ka sa banal na dako na kung walang ginagawa kundi manalangin, magpuri sa Ama, magsisimba, at wala ibang tinuturo kundi pagmamahal sa kapwa, pagsusunod sa batas, at pagmamahal sa Diyos. Excessive ba yung, for the first time in my life, I saw all those PNP personnel who were ready geared for war with all their ammunitions, yung mga baril nila ng pakalaki. I did not know what to do, but the children, the women, the mga workers kasama namin sa gate. Later on, Carlo will also relate what happened that day. It only not resulted in a pain so deep that even until now, the pain is there. Hindi man namin sadyain. Alam ko trauma is matagal mag-heal. It's not only pain, trauma, but it also resulted and caused the death of 2 of our members from the Balaan tribes in Kitbog. You also
May namatay?
Opo, dalawa.
Bakit? Anong nangyari?
Because of the trade, na trauma sila, sir, kasi mga Balaan, for the longest time, napaka-peaceful na po nung sa Sarangani province. E nung madaling araw, sinugod yung bahay nila, mga bahay nila, at pinilit silang palabasin. Yung una, pinagsisipa yung mga door. Madaling araw, sir, halos mga pawid lang yung bahay nila. Tapos, yung matanda, may sakit na siya. Kaya medyo nasa labas na lang siya ng bahay. Pinilit talaga siyang palabasin. Labas kayo. Matanda na, sir, kasi may sakit nga. Pinalabas. Bedridden siya. Pinalabas talaga. Pinilit nila lahat, pati yung matatanda. Pinilit nilang palabasin sa bahay. Sir, hindi po yun sa compound. Nasa community po yun. Mga Bilaan yun. Ancestral domain yon, malapit yung tinutulungan ni Pastor yon.
Right there, and then during that activity, namatay? The next day.
Hipalabas kasi siya ng madaling araw.
Yung dalawa?
Isa muna, ganito sir. Yung tatay, na bedridden na may sakit, pinilit palabasin, nagpamakaawa, ginising nila ng mga baril, ng lalaki talaga ng mga arms nila. Pinilit nila lumabas. Yung iba, sabi nila, ang ginaw, madaling araw na sa bundok. Pinilit nila. Yung the day after that, hindi na siya kumain. Ayaw na niya. Tapos palagi niya, ang iniisip niya, baka kunin nila si Pastor. Kasi member na po sila. Naunawaan po nila yung mensahe ni Pastor. Yun yung takla, baka makuha nila si Pastor. Walang warrant of arrest. Picture lang ang pinakita. 8. Picture, kilala niyo ba to? Ganun po nangyari doon sa Kitbog. Tapos, yung asawa niya, the following din, matay yung father. That day din, yung asawa ni William, tinitimpla pa niya ng kape yung mga sundalo. Nanginginig siya. After a few days, na-stroke. Hindi na si Brother William nakapaglibing sa father niya kasi na-stroke yung asawa niya. Tinulungan namin dinala sa hospital. Dilin naglaon, sir, namatay din. So, 2 yung namatay doon sa pamilya na yon. Tinulungan namin hanggang ngayon. Just yung may bata doon. Kasi, naano siya, siguro hindi lang talaga kaya i-process ng utak niya. Parang natuliro. Naloko pag may makikita siyang drone, binabato niya. Pag may makikita silang naka-uniform, natatakot sila. Kahit ibon, wala, sir, nasira yung bait.